now that the draft is over with, what are some of the standout bad and good rebuilds? I know a bad rebuild is Detroit, bro. Detroit just be sticking out like a sore thumb, bro. They have no spacing. I like some of the players. I love Ron Holland. Ron Holland is my favorite player that came out this draft. I think he like a Jalen Brown type athlete with a De'Aaron Fox type first step, and I think he can get the Herb Jones level defense. Mm-hmm. He
I
is a
don't disagree with that.
he
If
played
he can,
center and power forward at Duncanville. His first
yeah.
year playing on the wing with G League Ignite, he averaged damn near 20 points as one of the youngest players in the draft, bro.
Detroit got some athletes, so they are very athletic. They need shooting, and so I know Dalton Connect's a little older, but I would have maybe invested in Connect for them. But I mean, Ron Holland was a good pick for them. I guess he'll if he develops a jumper too, he'll be home run pick.
Who
It's just I know they got shooting with Tim Hardaway and Tobias Harris, which a lot of people got mad at them for signing Tobias Harris $26 million 2 years. But um,
that's
I
the
think
good thing. He can shoot.
I think it's a good thing. He can shoot. He'll help them, be a veteran presence. And I think in that kind of role where he's not necessarily like there's not gonna be as much pressure on him in Detroit. He can just hoop. And so I think he'll actually have a better year this year.
Yeah, he empty stats. It's cool. Get his jump shots up. Tim Hardaway's not Tim Hardaway gonna be out the league by the end
That's
of the, he
that's
gonna be out the league,
crazy,
bro.
man.
I'm sorry. I love Tim Hardaway, bro. I think Tim Hardaway was one of my favorite players to watch when he was at college. When it was him and Trey Burke, when they made
Mhm.
their miraculous run to the championship, they lost. But that team, that Michigan team, him and Trey Burke, that was my favorite backcourt in college. But Tim Hardaway, say it's over with, dog. That jumper ain't falling. It ain't falling like it used to. No, bro, stop.
I mean, we'll see. I hope he bounced back, but
Okay, who's in the worst situation? Washington, Detroit, Portland, or Utah?
for me, it's Washington. I, I have no words for what they. I don't know what they trying to do, and I know a lot of it. They took a swing, a really big swing, and they missed with this Jordan Poole deal. Of course, that was just year one, so he has a chance to grow and improve on that. Kyle Kuzma, he's cool, but does he really fit your plans as far as taking your team to that next level? They just traded their star, Denny Avdia, for Malcolm Brogdon in 2 picks, a 14 pick. They got Bud Carrington and a 2029 pick. No, Denny Avdia is on a great contract. He'll make $11 million in 3 years. That's ridiculous that you trade away a young, developing 24-year-old like that and you don't get that much back. I would have got one young guy along with the picks. That's just me.
I'm gonna say this about the Wizards real quick because first I kind of like it, bro. This what I will say about the Wizards because you can I don't know what they gonna do with Kuzma and Poole, but the young guys they got, I heard people clowning them because they should have been blew it up, and the fact they got 3 young guys after this draft is absolutely funny. They ended up with Kashawn George, their big wing out of Miami. They ended up with
Mhm.
Bub Carrington. I love Bub Carrington. They ended up with Alex Sarr. I think what they are trying to do is be one of the worst teams in the league and get your role players out the way. Kind of like what Orlando did before they got Paolo. Yeah, when you look at Franz Wagner, you look at Cole Anthony, you look at some of these guys by
So
themselves, it looks like trash. But then what if the Wizards end up with Ace Bailey? Now you have Ace Bailey, Bilal Koulibaly. Now you have Alex Sarr. You got pieces around a guy who could be a star and everything from there. So I have no problem loading up on role players in a role player draft before the star draft come. And I think that's what it was more about. Let's load up on these young players, and let's hope we can get in that top 2 or 3 to get one of the bona fide stars that can hopefully come in like Paolo, and we have enough around them that's young enough and we can do something. So I really don't have no problem with the Wizards because what else was they go do? They ain't in position to do nothing else, and they're gonna be one of the worst teams. So regardless of what happened, they're gonna be one of the worst teams. So it's nothing too much. Utah. They signed who?
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, he's not gonna help them win.
Okay, yeah, I see your point. Yeah,
and then that way you can play Alex Sarr at the 4, probably slide Kyle Kuzma to the 3 because Alex Sarr can't handle 5s right now. So I think that's okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Now when we talking about Utah, I think Utah is the most confusing, just because it's like I'm hearing they listening to offers on Lauri Markkanen. So, and then they got a lot of guys that's kind of remind me of each other. So it's like I don't know too much direction with Utah. Who's gonna be the star? Like, what's the system gonna be? Because I feel like they had more direction last year than they gonna have coming into this year. We didn't see Walker Kessler actually play meaningful minutes like he was supposed to last year. So it's like, what direction is Utah going in? I think Utah's in a more weird situation than Washington, in my opinion. How you feeling about Utah right now?
I think Utah, yeah, they're in that, like, they have some young guys, they have some young talent, but they don't have, the enough of like the high quality young talent that could really solidify your future. Mm-hmm. And so it's a matter of, do they want to commit to finding that guy, or do they believe, okay, we have Lauri, we can build around him and go from there, but they're never going to be necessarily as bad enough. They have to make moves, they have to make trades, and then that's uncertain. So I feel like if they're going to have to pick a direction. You get off Lauri, you get a bunch of picks. Mikal got 5, Lauri can get you 5, and you go from there. Right. Or you have to take some swings, make some trades, and get some and find him another ready-made star.
Mm. What would you do?
Me personally, I do like Lauri a lot, but the fact that you could probably get about 5 picks from him, that's pretty valuable. If I could get 5 picks and a decent young guy, I'd probably do that, move in that direction. I built Keontae George. They get Hendricks Taylor Hendricks. They actually had a pretty good draft. They got Filipowski, they got Collier, they got another guy I really like too. But I mean, they had a decent draft, but it's still they still have some
Cody Williams.
Yeah, Cody Williams. That's right. They still have some pieces that they need to fill in my opinion, before they're really you look at. Oh, that's a good young core.
At this point, because these next 2 draft classes gonna be really good. I don't know if nobody been paying attention to U17. My goodness. The Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey draft. And then after that, you go have the Cameron Boozer, AJ DeBouncer draft. So it's a legit, I'm gonna say 5 to 6 bona fide guys that I can see as all NBA guys coming out in the next 2 drafts. You have Cooper Flag, you have Ace Bailey, and potentially either Dylan Harper or VJ Edgecombe. Then the next year, you got AJ DeBouncer, you got Cameron Boozer, and potentially Cole Pete. So me personally, if I was a team, I think I'll be going all in, just because in the next 2 years, it's not just one guy. It's about 3 to 5 guys that I can get that I think could be the guy. So it's no point in playing around with Lauri Markkanen, because he's only going to get older. So the asset go depreciate, and you trying to build around him. I would trade him.
He on the trading block.
So yeah, but I'm saying it's about time to go on, push that button, bro. But
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I think Utah is probably in the weirdest situation. I think Detroit is in the worst situation
I don't
because you
think
got a guy
Utah's
that
in
you
that
just.
bad of a spot.
I mean, if you don't pick a direction, you are.
Huh?
It's going on 3 years now.
Well, I think they're probably looking at what you're talking about. Is they're probably looking at this next draft, and they probably gonna try to, cause bro, they stocking up on these picks. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. They stocking up on picks, and I think that's kind of just what they've been on these last couple of years. I think, they see that, we have an asset in Lord Marketing, but there's only so much you can put around him. I don't think they've built the right team around him. And I just feel like it would be a lot easier for them to let him move on, bring in another haul of picks. So now you done got picks from him. You're gonna have picks from Donovan Mitchell. You're gonna have picks from Rudy Gobert. With those three, with the assets you got from them three players alone, I think if they have the right people in place, that they should definitely be able to make some moves because they in the West. You're not going with the roster currently constructed. I just don't really know what you could add that would elevate you to actual playoff contention right now.
So they in a better spot than you would say Toronto.
I think Toronto. I think they're trying to be where Toronto is as far as just rebuilding their team. But Toronto is still kind of shaky just with the pieces they got, in my opinion.
I think Toronto probably, but outside of the Wizards, they probably the worst situation too.
Well, Toronto is in a place where they wanna go forward with old boy. So I mean, if I don't too much care for it, but at least they showing some type of commitment to something. Like if you
that's what I'm saying. The commitment is to Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly. They damn near 300 some M's between those two. That's crazy.
Right. And I think the only reason why you can get away with doing it over there is because they in the East. You're not going to get away with committing to them two niggas in the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? Because you just not. Because the way I'm just looking at it, the East is the only two teams that you can just say are just really up and coming right now is the Pacers and the Knicks. Miami, we don't know what the fuck they gonna look like next year. They've been kind of disappointed. They was disappointing last year. I mean, I know Jimmy was hurt, but it's like they don't never for whatever reason. Miami never lands no big time free agents for whatever reason.
I don't think have they been having the money? Because I think they've been trying to get trades. I don't think Miami been having money like that.
I mean,
I don't know if it's being money or because I think free agents should go there.
I don't think it's a money thing, dog. They just when it comes to just trading for some of these players, they just don't have the assets, and the real asset that they had to move was Tyler Hero, and they just did not want to move off that man. And I get you, Tyler Hero is great talent, but nigga, I'm not finna hold my franchise back for no goddamn Tyler Hero, man.
So we talking about rebuilding teams, Chris, like who's in a better or worse situation. We talked about Utah. We talked about Washington.
I think Utah is, man. Like I said, if they do the right thing with them picks, man, they got all the assets in the goddamn world. Get what you're gonna get for Lord, and man, cause I mean, you would know more about this than I would. I don't know what these next couple of drafts are gonna look like, right? And then on top of that, there's always superstar players looking to get moved. They get picked off their team or whatever. These moving pieces. So I definitely feel like these next. You say what?
Utah kind of is like an OKC. You got to draft you a star.
You have to draft your star. You're not gonna get. I mean, the last person that they was able to bring in there, like big time, was Chris Paul. They had to go. You know what I'm saying? That 1 year that the first they went to the.
You breaking up, Chris? Bro, what's going on with you today, dog?
What?
You breaking up?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, nigga, I'm out here horny in the goddamn boonies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but I think underrated
like
rebuilding team is important.
I said the same thing about Utah. when they traded Donovan Mitchell, I'm like, boy, they got all the goddamn picks in the world. Now we're going to see what that front office is going to do with them. So they still in that process of stacking up them picks. But after this offseason, so we, pretty much at the next year, that's when we gonna really just start seeing improve because they're not gonna be good next year. They already talking about getting Laurie Marketing up out of there. They're not gonna be good. No, whoever you bring in for them is just some bridge guys until you get into the next year's draft, and then from there we're gonna see how you draft, how you use these assets, how you move them around. Shit, we see what New York did with their picks and all the pieces they brought in, and they still got picks left over. They still got picks left over. What did they do? They signed Jalen Brunson in free agency. They bought in all them extra pieces after that first year. And then this year after this, okay, we see some real potential with this team. What they do with them picks, they go get Mikal Bridges. Let's see if Utah will make the right free agent signs over the next couple of years, and then we can say whether or not they did what they were supposed to do. Because, nigga, I don't even need – I know the boys got at least 10 to 15 picks. Just sitting on picks. And if they get some more for that nigga Marketing, they have no reason why they should not be one of the top teams as far as moving pieces around the next 5 years. I'd be trying to get everybody. KD, you want to come to Utah?
Pick. Cool, but if I'm looking at it like this, because we ain't talking about Portland yet, because we already kind of talked about Toronto. They don't really have picks, and then they young talent is not all that in my opinion. Portland, the most underrated.
They got some picks off of that Dame Lillard trade, but it's just.
He talking about Toronto.
Oh,
I said Toronto don't got no picks really, and they got not that great young talent.
Nah, because they didn't really get that much for that nigga Siakam, did they?
Not really. So I think Toronto is in a worse situation than Utah in.
Yeah, Toronto, because Toronto don't have a lot of picks, and it's like because Toronto, like, this is their team, like. This is not like they in no rebuilding thing. Like, this is your team. You're not in a rebuild. This is the best that you have to offer.
Yeah.
What about Portland? Let's talk about Portland now. Because Portland, Simons, Shaedon Sharpe. I think
I like Anthony Simons. I like Shaedon Sharpe. That team is just a bunch of they'd be good on a blacktop.
But then you brought in Deni Avdija. You brought in Deni Avdija.
Donovan Clingan. I like what they did.
Clingan, Clingan is one of the most overrated players in the draft. Where's he go? What does he do? What does he do?
Defend at a high level. He defends at a high level, and he's a big bruising finisher.
I'm not sold on Donovan Clingan, bro. And for him to go top, what did he go? Like 6, 7?
He went 7.
Too rich for my blood. Clingan and Zach Edey. This how you know this draft was terrible. For them to go top 10 like that is crazy. Them dudes can't move worth a damn. I don't care what nobody says.
Clingan?
They can't move good enough. No, they can't move good enough, bro.
Clingan?
Say dog. He can move a little bit, but no, bro. Stop.
Yeah, I actually like it.
Clingan ain't swinging nothing for Portland, bro.
Say, man, I would have taken Clingan if I was the Hawks.
At number 1,
they're probably at number 1, but nah.
Lord,
he's a fit. He's a fit wise. Yeah.
Donovan Clingan, say, bro. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say Donovan Clingan kind of sucked, bro.
DJ, you gonna be
what's his stat line gonna be, Chris? What's his stat line gonna be?
Dude, it's not about the stat line. It's about was Walker Kessler a great rookie?
He didn't go top 10. He went second round.
I'm saying Donovan, but if you did a redraft, he would be in the first round. I'm saying Donovan Clingan can do exactly what Walker Kessler did coming in and be that high-level defender as a center.
Walker Kessler in his second year came off the bench.
Walker Kessler faced injuries after that.
I'm going to say this, bro. Clingan is a good, solid role player, but for him to go 7, I got to look at him as a 7th overall pick. For a 7th overall pick, dude, not all that, bro.
All right.
Like, say, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck. Can I keep it a buck real? Can I just keep it real? White people went crazy about Reed Shepherd and Donovan Clingan because they was white, bro. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Them dudes is good. But that was come on, bro.
Now you don't believe in Reed Shepard.
Neither one of them dudes is better than Dalton Connect, bro.
You just made a whole video about you made a video about both.
I like Reed Shepard.
I'm saying you made a whole video about Reed Shepard, and now
bro, Bill Simmons, Jay Billis, and all these dudes, they just happy they got him one, bro. It's cool. I mean, you know, respect to them. Respect to them. Like real talk. Respect to them. For say it all. If Reed Shepard was black doing all this, man, they're talking about him like Bronny, bro.
What?
No, I'm just playing, but he's all right. He's all right. Like they both are pretty good. I think Reed Shepard gonna be better than Clingan. I think Dalton Connect gonna be better than Clingan, bro. Clingan is a big that got no post moves, can't really score like that, no jumper, can't switch. It's a lot he can't do, bro. So, you know, for the 7th overall pick, I'm looking at him like that in. But I do like Shaden Sharp, Ant Simons. They put Denny Avia around them. You still got Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, so you got pieces to trade. Scoot Henderson might just have to be a spark off the bench.
He can't get better.
He can, but he got to do it. And if he get better, he's still got a long way to go. He was that bad.
I'm not gonna lie, Scoot. The way we was talking about, people were talking about him before the draft. He has to come a long way to justify them talks, and I don't know if he will. But he was supposed to be a shoo-in point guard prospect.
If was a fifth.
I remember we had the most disappointing player. We almost threw Scoot up in there, but
Scoot say dog, it couldn't have went worse for him personally, bro. It just couldn't have. I think he go be good. Hopefully, not even good. I think he go be solid contributor. He got to show me he go be good, but I think he could still be a solid contributor. I think Shaden Sharp and Anthony Simons have to stay healthy, bro. For them two to be that young and for them to already both be dealing with those type of injuries. The most exciting part about Portland is Shaden Sharp and Anthony Simons. They don't play. Them dudes don't play. So, you know, availability to best ability, and they two best and most promising young players have not played. But when they play, Portland has been in some of these games. They was in a lot of these games last year, bro. It was a very competitive team. We seen Anthony Simons be a closer. We seen Shaden Sharp just be the best athlete in the NBA, bro. Mm-hmm. So they got some talent. DeAndre Ayton started to actually come around once he got a bed or whatever they said happened with him. So they got some talent over there. They still got Rob Will, Jeremy Grant. So they got young talent and they got vets, and I think they still got picks. So I think Portland's in a good situation. If I would have to rank situations now that we talking about it, from best to worst, I would say, help me out here, Chris. I think Portland in the best situation, just in terms of picks, young talent, and actual roster and vets.
I would not be mad if you put Portland number 1.
Who would be 2? Because you still have Detroit is rebuilding. I'm not gonna call Spurs a rebuild no more, just because they kind of got a generational talent and they kind of in their own little situation. We gotta see what they got going.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you Spurs, we talk about these 4 teams down here. Number 2, I might say, I know I was saying Utah was like, or I might say I was clowning the Wizards, but I really might say Detroit.
The best rebuilding situation right now? Second best?
All right, I'll move Detroit. The only thing is I'm not putting Detroit last.
I mean, that's cool, but I can't put them second because first you just tied yourself in the cage, and then you got like guys that you can't really do nothing with because you just signed. Well, I ain't to say just signed, you just drafted them. I don't think they'll move. They probably could move off Ivy, but they got Jalen Duren over there. They got Ivy. They got Asar Thompson, Ron Holland. They look all good as individual pieces, but as a collective, as a unit,
You know, like
this couldn't be
Sasser?
worse. Marcus Sasser, cool. He's a role player though. They're core guys. They core 4 guys. Who you think they core 4 guys are? Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, and Ivy. So it's like that core 5 younger. That's I don't like how they're set up.
I guess you could say Detroit. I was saying Detroit just because they have a lot of young talent, and I like Duren a lot personally. Yes, you're tying yourself down to Cade, but depending on what you put around Cade, maybe he won't have to do as much, and he can, just facilitate more. As far as being the guy, no, I don't think. I think Cade is point guard kind of Tatum. He needs people around him, but he's not going to be. He's not going to be the guy that elevates or takes his team to that next level. You know what I'm saying? So.
I like it. Cade is guard Tatum. I love it.
You put the right, young piece of young talent around him, maybe he can help elevate that team or make them, get them to where they need to be. But that's just me.
I'm only knocking Detroit though, Chris, because of the fit of the young talent, not the young talent itself.
Okay.
Because first of all, I think Cade is probably outside of him and Scotty Barnes is tied for some of the worst young number ones. Like I'm not trying to be mean, but they tied for like the worst number 1 options. So but then you look at the talent, the collection of talent, it just don't fit well together. Can you just imagine if Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, and Jaden Ivey all on the court at the same time? That just you see how they'll kind of make you be like, Lord, the spacing you can see it already. It's gonna be bad. Yeah. So it's like it's not just the talent; it's how they fit together. That's why they so low.
But that way, Ron Holland going to be back playing power forward again.
I mean, you got Tobias Harris over there. They a playoff team.
Stop it. So we got Portland, you got Detroit. I guess I'll let it slide.
I'll move Detroit down.
I'll say
Utah then. You like the Wizards.
Okay, I'll say Utah.
Y'all trying to say who in the best situation right now, like for a rebuild or what?
Yeah.
You like Wizards at 2, don't you?
Yeah, low key, bro.
I mean, I'm not mad at you. I like Coulibaly. I really do. And then, getting Sarr and then having the ability, to put themselves in a position to get a top guy next year.
I only would like Wizards if they get a top guy. If they don't get a top guy, I think it will be very disgusting. But they're ready made to get a top guy because they go have dudes that we know are role players. Like we don't have to be, is he or this? Is he or that? We know Coulibaly is a role player. We know Sarr is a role player. But I think those two by themselves, Coulibaly, because the way how versatile he is on defense, Alex Sarr, how versatile he is on defense. You got you a point of attack defender that's 3-and-D, and then you got you a big that's mobile and switchable rim protector. Like those two things in itself. If you get you an Ace Bailey and you got you a Coulibaly and an Alex Sarr, that go propel the young core in terms of the rankings. So that's why I kind of like, and then you got still assets to trade in Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
And Malcolm Brogdon. So I put them in 3. Because Utah, you guaranteed still got Keontae now. You got Keontae now, then you got Lauri Markkanen, and then you already have a lot of picks. So I'll say Portland, Utah, Detroit. It is Washington, but
it's dependent because Washington could. The Wizards, the Detroit could get out there and just look terrible. This is another thing. Are you mad at the JB Bickerstaff signing?
I'm pissed. I ain't gonna lie, that shit pissed me off.
Why?
Like,
Why?
not so much for him, because you shouldn't have got fired in the first goddamn place.
I
don't
think
hate
they
it for
setting him
him.
up for failure.
I just hate that part. That's my part right there, because I'm like, okay, come on, man. It's like if y'all gonna hire him, Detroit, I just need y'all to at least
I'm
get my
afraid
man some time, because the way that Cleveland did him was just disgusting.
Yeah. The way that he was done in Cleveland was actually really bad. There's no way he should have been fired for a situation he couldn't really control, and he overperformed. He outperformed his expectations based on what happened, as far as guys being injured, guys not toughening out through injuries and stuff like that. Missing, having a lot of guys out the rotation throughout the year. The top guy was out half the season, and he still got them into a decent position to won a playoff series. So I don't necessarily think that he should have been fired. And so him coming to a situation like Detroit, yeah, it could be some problems though. So that's just how I feel. I think him going to Detroit, yes, Detroit will have a lot of young guys. Yes, Detroit will, as long as they allow him the freedom, to build that team.
Right now, but I hope Detroit in the next 2 years get themselves into a play-in or a playoff spot and beat the dog shit out of Cleveland.
That would be great. He just needs time with Cleveland. They can't be,
and that's fine. You can't. You just don't do the Cleveland route and be like, oh, nigga get beat in the playoffs and shit. Y'all ain't even have a chance against these dudes. Your people was hurt.
Yeah, he needs time in Detroit. He can't just get 2 years and gone.
I would say, bro.
Thing with Detroit, y'all gave Monty Williams all that money for what?
That was a different regime, though. It's a regime change. The dude that was running the Detroit before the new guy was stupid. That's all it was. That dude was dumb. He made, bro, you could see it in his picks, and then you could see it in his free agent moves, and then you could see it in who he hired as the coach. Troy Weaver was an idiot. I think he ended up on he's somewhere with the Wizards or something now. The fact that he got a job that quick after the debacle in Detroit. Detroit been bad for how long now? So I just think he was an idiot. And I think if you coming in and you a new guy in Detroit, say, dog, I wouldn't have wanted Monty Williams either. I don't care about that money. It's the same thing with a divorce sometimes. Sometimes, man, I don't give a damn about that money. I just want I want a fresh start. I want some freedom. And Monty Williams, just how he carried himself, his lineups was trash. Man, that money, yeah, I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, give him that money. But sometimes, hey, get out of here. You can have the money. Bye.
Scram.
I'd rather have maybe bigger staff. That's a way better, he's just a way better coach. Now the roster could make JB Bickerstaff look like he ain't shit. No offense. Just because it don't fit. I don't think there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about that right now, but that's not his fault. Like I said, as long as they do right by him and give him a couple years, I'm all good with it.
Allow him. They need to allow some of these guys to be like, say, coach. I don't want him.
Stop micromanaging these dudes. Like you, nigga, you hired me for a reason. Now, if I just underperform, then do what you got to do. But goddamn. Leave if I'm nigga, I am at work. I have a job to do just like you. Leave me alone.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind. Need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line. Any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I would never quit.